In this video we'll show how you can configure the Formview control to capture images. So first we'll demonstrate and then we'll go back and show how it was set up. So we have here a list control that represents the data source for our Formview, and then here you can see our Formview with an editor on the right to edit the text fields. But when we tap on the image over here, we get a image select. Now because we're working on the desktop and we're using HTML5 image capture, we're capturing the image from the file system. But in a PhoneGap application or a mobile application, this would be using the camera. So we'll go ahead now and select an image, and you can see there's the image over here. We've updated our Formview control to show the image, and then when we hit the save button, the list control shows the image. So because we're on the desktop right now, we're capturing the images as base 64 data. So let's go back now and take a look at how this was all set up. So first we'll start out in the list control itself to look at the properties of the list, and you'll see that in the list we have, in our static data, one of the fields that we have is called picture, and currently all of the existing rows of data don't have any value in the picture field. Then when we go over to the Fields tab, we can see here that we've got our picture field, and we've set the control type of this field to be image, and we've also specified that the data in this field is going to be base 64 data rather than the file name of a picture that we would have gotten if we were using PhoneGap. So we're using base 64 data over here, and then since the base 64 data is just the raw base 64 data, we need to put in the prefix so that the HTML can render it as an image. So here we've gone here and just simply said that the picture field in the list is base 64 data. Then when we go to the form itself, we can see here that in the form, on the form layout, we've specified that the control type of the picture field is a data bound image. So you can see, for example, first name, last name, city and state are all using a control type of label, but when we get to the picture field, the control type here is a data bound image. So that means that it's an image, and the value of the image is coming from the data that the form is displaying, as opposed to, say, a static image. So we've chosen image here, and then we've specified the missing image HTML. So this is where the click here to capture image comes from, because when there's no image, this is what we're going to display. And we've also specified that the method for capturing the image is to tap on the image as opposed to tap on a button. So basically we'll go there and just go back and say tap on an image. But when you want to turn on image capture for a field, you also have to set properties at the field level. So these are the properties for the actual control, the data bound image control. But if we go back to the Fields tab here, we can see that on the Fields tab we've set the field type of this field to be an image. By default everything comes in as unspecified, so we specifically said that this picture field here is an image, and then we've specified that the data type is going to be base 64 data, and that the prefix is this. So there's actually a little builder to help you select the right prefix when you're choosing base 64 data. And then we basically said that image capture is allowed, so we've turned on image capture, and then we've set the image capture properties. So this is where you specify whether you want to use the PhoneGap option to capture images or HTML5, and since we're not running in a PhoneGap application right now, we're using the HTML5 option. So basically this was all that we had to do in order to turn on image capture for this Formview. So let's go ahead now and test it out again. So click on this first row, capture the image, save it, click on the next row, capture an image, and then save it. And then when we go back to the first row, there's our image, and there's our image for the second row. So what we've shown in this video is how in the Formview control you can turn on image capture, and image capture acts as an immediate editor. So in other words, you don't tap on the image and then go and open up an editor as you do for these text fields over here. but the image capture happens immediately as soon as you tap on the image. Thanks very much for watching.